some complications with the car. So I had been smelling gas after he had been driving the car. So he actually started daily driving this to school. And I had fooled around with the fuel sending unit. He had put some gas in, and then all of a sudden I was smelling, gas fumes after he pulled in. And then the garage would smell like gas, but it would be gone by the morning. So I looked in the engine bay, looked at the fuel lines and everything. Couldn't really see anything. I thought, maybe the lines, the vacuum lines and stuff that go up to the charcoal canister and everything were bad, and the fumes were leaking out. People have said, there might be a crack in the tank and everything. Well, under further scrutiny, my rail is leaking. And it's leaking right here. So I don't know if it was coming off the dampener or the rail. But you could see it. And now it's all gone, so it doesn't smell like gas anymore. So I'm hoping that I can replace this rail, because it was wet here, and then it was, you can see the mark kind of underneath there where it was wet as well. So Elliot Grafton at the 944 barn had a rail. He's got a dampener, and he's also got another regulator that I am getting from him and having him send that up to me. And we are going to replace the rail and the dampener and the fuel pressure regulator. So I found out also, of course, that the fuel rail is specific to an 83. You believe that? Isn't that just a load of whatever? So, yeah, it's specific to 83. So when I get the new one, I'll clean it up. Well, not the new one. When I get the used one, I'll clean it up, and we'll go ahead and get it in. But this weekend's job is going to be getting this fuel rail out. So that's what we're going to work on with this one. So hopefully the replacement fuel rail and all that takes care of that, and we're good to go. And then therefore that was not a very expensive ticket. So we'll just go from there. All right, so we're going to start working on this. First thing we're going to do, we'll disconnect the battery. Then we will crack the nut in the front and get the pressure out of the line. We'll take the injector harness off. And then we'll start taking these bolts off. The bolts that attach to these right here. Those. There's two there. We'll disconnect the fuel line from here. And from down here. And then that should come off. I should be able to get the injectors out of the air intake manifold as well, just by pulling up on it. So that is going to be the first job for today. And then we also have to see if we can get the washer fluid reservoir back in as well. All right, easy peasy. I don't know, took maybe 20, 25 minutes to get that fuel rail off. So, not a big deal. So I'll have to get the injectors out. I'll have to get this part off. But I got to finish draining the gas out of it first. Spilled a little bit of gas on the floor, but didn't make too big of a mess. It wasn't too bad. So, yep, we will work on getting the injectors out of it and getting that other pipe off, and then we should be good to go when the replacement comes in. Hopefully be able to just plug and play and go. So I'm just hoping it's not this injector that's leaking, because there's a little bit of discoloration around here. But once again, it was running, it was down in here, and it was all on here. So it could be spraying out of that injector, but I didn't see that when we turned the car over. I saw it leaking out of this, where that weld is, in that area. And it may have been coming out of the dampener too, because the dampener was all wet kind of all the way around as well. So the replacement part I'm getting has it has the pressure regulator and the dampener on it. So hopefully I'll be able to just plug it and go. All right, so I got my pipe off. I got my injectors out. It's kind of surprising they were a little bit gummy, which really kind of surprised me considering it's only been new fuel that's been in there. But I guess it did kind of sit for a year or so in between fire ups, so maybe that was why. But got the injectors out, just kind of cleaned them off. I don't need to rebuild them or anything. I mean, these are brand new, and they still look in good nick. So that is done. My windshield washer reservoir is back in, looking tidy. It's pretty easy to put in. You got to do it from the bottom, but not a real big deal. Not very hard to do. So that's in. So we're just going to wait on the fuel rail, and whenever that gets in, we'll get going and putting that back together and hopefully get her back on the road. All right. So we're here in the shop. Heater's going. It's like 11 degrees outside. We just got 6 inches of snow, 8 inches of snow. Olympics are on, watching a little ski jumping. Replacement fuel rail came in. I also got some extra lug nuts. So if anybody needs lug nuts, I looked on eBay because I needed one. And people wanted like $15 for one or $50 for a set or whatever. So Elliot had them for $1 a piece. So I picked up 10 extra ones just to have them. I don't care what color they are, because with these rims, they go all the way in there. You can't even see them anyway. So, I don't care what they really technically look like. So, once again, if you're ordering parts and you need lug nuts, I always suggest that you have a couple extra ones because they're made of aluminum. So I got one that's stripped. So that's why I needed a replacement. So they tend to strip easy. It's the second one. I had one when I got the car that was bad. And then this one now. So just some extra ones. So here is the replacement fuel rail. Looks to be in pretty good nick. So what I'll do is I'll just clean it out. I'm going to clean in here, get all the rust out of the inside of these. And go ahead and flush it out as well. I think I still have some of the stuff I used before to clean it out. And we'll get that in there and get that cleaned out. We'll get the injectors and all that stuff put back in. We'll put the piece back on. And we'll get it back in the car. All right, so we've got it cleaned up. Most of the rust, I got to try to get a little bit of this rust that's down in these parts, but that was the same problem on the other one. So I'll try to get in there maybe with some sandpaper or something, but it's all cleaned out. So I've got my denatured alcohol and my cleaning fluid or injection stuff that I used So I'll get it in here and get this all sprayed out. I did take the dampener off. The ball is stuck in the end here. So I'm not going to try to bang it out or anything. I might try to just warm it up and see if it'll pop out. But I just wanted to get it cleaned up, get the rust off of it as best I could, and get it cleaned up. And then I got all those cleaned out. Got the gummy stuff out of all of them. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good, and we'll go ahead and keep on cleaning. All right, so we have filled the rail up with the denatured alcohol, and we're going to let it just kind of sit in there for a second and try to get everything out that we can. I'm going to try to get it to come out of here so it'll flow through there too. And then I think I'm going to take this injector stuff. I might take it outside and blow it through here and blow everything out if I can. That's the plan. We will see if that works. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of let that sit and soak and see if it can get rid of some of the crap that's inside there. You know what? I'll see if I got a glass jar or something that I can hopefully put this into, so we'll see what comes out of this rail, because it's kind of hard to tell in these black containers. So I'll see if I can get it to dump out into something clear so we can take a look and see what's in there. All right, so here's what came out of it. Pretty clean, not too bad. So I tried putting this into here and blowing out. It didn't have enough oomph. It just filled the rail with it. So that really didn't work. But we will go ahead and start reassembling. And hopefully get it back together. And hopefully this was the case of the fuel smell, and this will take care of it. I'm just hoping my injectors aren't leaking. If they are, then I'm going to have to get replacement injectors. But, yeah, we will go ahead and start putting it back together. All right, we are all buttoned up. Everything's in there nice and solid. Everything's hooked back up. Everything should be good to go. Spark plug's put back on. So next thing is gonna prime it and start it up, but I gotta wait for someone to get home so I can have them do that while I sit out here. I don't want to do that by myself, but we will do that next. All right, here we go.
You want me to idle and give it gas?
Just try to turn it over. Well, just I don't see anything leaking. I don't smell anything. Seems to be idling a little better, actually. All right, I tell you what, Will. You want to take it out for just a little spin? Or no, you don't. We don't have to. You want to drive, or do you want me to? Do you have your wallet? Okay. All right. Just a quick little spin and we'll see if we smell any gas. Backup camera. good still. Gas gauge is working.
Yeah, it's a bit low.
Yeah, you're about a quarter of a tank, but that's okay. We're not going very far here. All right, so we'll see when we get back to the house how it did. All right, we're back from the test drive. I do not smell any gas. I do not see any moisture. Yeah, I definitely do not smell the gas. So I think we may have fixed that problem.
Emphasis on that problem.
So let's go ahead and get the garage door closed. And we can just make sure that it doesn't stink up. But I do not smell gas anywhere, and I don't see anything leaking anymore. So I think we're good. Yep. I think we're good, because this is where it was coming out of before. It was coming out of right here.
Bit of welding?
Well, yeah, so I think we're good. Awesome. We'll just have to wait and see if it stinks up the garage. If not, then we know it's fixed. If it does, then we got to look for something else. But I think we're good.